Welcome to Kenneth O'Neal's Word of the Week. Each week, Kenneth will discuss a word which describes a principle or value of the qualities of success. Use the word of the week in your thoughts, deeds, and actions. You can replace a good habit with a bad habit. You can use it as an action step. Kenneth O'Neal will bring you a word of the week each week, and it will help you to improve your life, your relationships, your professional career, and your overall well-being. I know you'll enjoy Word of the Week with Kenneth O'Neal. Kenneth O'Neal is a certified Zig Ziglar trainer and the head of O'Neal Consulting in Kerrville, Texas. Word of the Week is future. And now, Kenneth O'Neal.
Good morning, everybody. That is Beth Nelson Chapman. Might walk my way. It is a good morning Monday, and it's raining out there, and we certainly do need that for sure. It is 8:16, 65 degrees on this Monday, November the 18th. And on Mondays, we get a chance to chat with Kenneth O'Neal. Good morning, Kenneth. How are you?
Good morning, Rick. I tell you, waking up to this moisture, wow, it's flowing down the street.
I almost forgot what it looked like.
I know it. Did you step out and say, what is that?
Yeah. I went outside and the guy got wet. Is it a bird? But
okay.
No, it's really rain, and we haven't had anywhere under drought conditions.
Yes.
And thank you, Lord, for a little bit of moisture.
Moisture, great. So we're here to go over the Word of the Week. That word begins today for people to start using. And we have a very thoughtful word today, something you might reflect upon.
I bet.
The word of the week is future. Future, F-U-T-U-R-E, future, and it is defined as the time that is yet to come.
That's kind of goes along with what we've been hearing for the last several years from the politicians. Full transparency.
Oh, yes, that would work. But yes, future suggests hope, anticipation, and sometimes apprehension.
Okay.
It is a noun, of course, and synonyms are, and you can probably think of these words, destiny, tomorrow, a prospect, an outlook. So all of those things we talk about with the word future. Each of the words that we use suggests a vision of what lies beyond the present. And it varies back and forth in tone from optimism to uncertainty. Yes, I knew that would, yeah. The outlook often depends on our personal circumstances. Remember these: personal circumstances, social environments, and world events. That's what you were talking about leading up to politics. Those with stability and opportunity may embrace the future with confidence, while others, overwhelmed by their difficulties, may view it with trepidation.
Well, that's a pretty big word.
Yes, I love big words. Now, it appears over the weekend that I have coined, let's use that word, coined a new quote. And I want everybody, maybe they can write this down. Okay, yeah, announcement coming. All things are about the future. Now, I think that's profound and it's very significant. And what it suggests most of all is human action, human decisions, and aspirations that are looking forward. And we go from, we plan careers. We make plans to raise families. And we even go from innovations in science to maybe social reforms. And most of what we do is motivated by the desire for a better future. And of course, we call that word hope. Tomorrow's going to be better than today. So the mindset is a hallmark, you know that word, hallmark of human gumption. You know I had to get that in there. Resilience and creativity. But it's our ability to imagine and work toward progress. The present moment and then the reflections of the past hold value. I mean, those things, we don't just forget the past. It does not shape our future, but of course it's valuable to learn from those experiences that we've had.
Sure.
So looking at the future is a great motivator. And from that, it fuels our ambition, our learning, and our growth. And the key, of course, is to have a balanced outlook, an approach of focus and intentionality. An eye on the future should not come, though, from not living currently, in the present. In other words, we should, all of the great experience we have, grandchildren and relationships that we have, we should savor and relish those moments that we have today. The future is the product of our actions, and it is actually, we have a promise for the future, but it's our responsibility to take hold of the future and be intentional and focus on. Now, Zig Ziglar had a great quote that he had. He says, "You are where you are and what you are because of what's going into your mind." He was really looking at the mental input, which we've discussed many times. But you are what you are, and you are where you are because of your experiences and especially the mental input. That mental input determines your output, and your output determines your performance. All right, but he said, this is Ziglar talking again, he said that you can change where you are and what you are by the things that go into your mind.
True.
Now, so what do you think about all that, Rick?
I think it's a good word, but like you said, you got to live in the present, not the future or the past.
Right.
You got to make sure you don't stay in the past hoping for something in the future.
And some polls that have been taken, some surveys or whatever, say that most people, that they spend 75-80% of their time thinking about the past.
Pretty much.
And the biggest problem with that is 85 or 90% of that time is negative.
Sure.
Oh, woe is me.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that person, what'd they do to me? And the number one thing in looking for the future is to take responsibility for our actions. Take responsibility for those actions.
Yeah. And you keep doing the same thing over and over for hoping for a different result. Yes,
and what is that called? Come on, tell me. Say the word insanity. All right.
Yeah, okay.
Now, I'm not going to go, I know we're limited to time here, but there's 3 ways that I've been looking at this.
And I think you're probably going to tell us.
I'm going to tell you 3 ways that I look at this. Is in the future, what does the future mean to me as a life coach working with individuals that have, maybe they're stuck somewhere. So how should I look at that as a coach?
You tell me.
Okay. I must be optimistic.
Okay.
All right. I must be growth oriented. And the big one is I must be purpose driven. Why are we here? What are we supposed to do? And Ziglar had another great quote. He says, you can have and do everything you want to do in life by helping and serving other people.
For sure.
Okay? So that's the way a life coach should look at it. Now, let's just look real quickly at what did Ziglar say about the philosophy of the future. What did he say about it? Now, of course, I could talk all week about what Mr. Ziglar said and did. Just an iconic guy. I mean, he was just so great. But he broke it down into trust in God's plan and maintain a hopeful outlook.
There you go.
Look at the hope. He said always, the best way in the world to predict the future is to create your own future through consistent effort with persistency. And then the personal growth aspect, it's not what you do, it's really who you become. And then finally, build a future that benefits others while you're getting the benefit. And then, of course, the last place to look for the future, that didn't sound right, but you know what I mean, is the Bible.
Oh, sure.
And the future that we look at through there. And the question is, looking at the future, there are events that must come about before we reach the end. But does the future ever end?
I don't think so. I think it goes on. It's another chapter.
Another chapter. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be another chapter. Whether some of it you know, some of it you don't know.
So go back to the quote that I coined when I was writing all this.
You go back.
All things are about the future. Because the minute I just said that, we still are looking at the future.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen. Kenneth O'Neal. Another provocative word. Future.
Future. Yeah. And like I said, hope. Hope for the future. A better tomorrow.
There you go.
And people can call me and we can talk about that.
Okay.
830-285-7010. Or if they want to get together, they can just send a text and say, let's get together for coffee.
Okay.
830-285-7010. We can do a Zoom call. Lots of ways to communicate.
True. Or you can email him at merger@windstream.net.
Correct. Thank
right.
you. Thank
Yes,
you for
sir.
this day. I appreciate you.
You bet. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next Monday, same time, same place, right here at Encore Radio.
This is Tom Fox. I'm a co-founder of the Texas Hill Country Podcast Network. If you've enjoyed this podcast and you would like to talk to us about getting your own podcast on the Texas Hill Country Podcast Network, we'd love to talk to you. So you can reach us at our website, through our website, the Texas Hill Country Podcast Network. Word of the Week with Kenneth O'Neal is our latest podcast, and we will present Kenneth's word each week going forward. They will be insightful, they will be useful, they will be important, and can be a significant increase of all aspects of your life going forward. I hope you'll subscribe, rate, and review this podcast wherever great podcasts are listened to. This is Tom Fox. Thank you so much for listening.